Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Big Boy District. Not super sure what episode we're on this week, but we're coming at you hot with a whole bunch of steamy topics as usual. It's good to be recording another episode because it's been a while, but it's been busy. So, how have you been this past couple
Oh,
of however long it's been since we have done this?
dude, we're in the same room. This is all we do is sit in this dark room, and every 3 weeks you turn on a mic and we do this. I don't I don't know why you always act like we don't spend every waking minute of every waking second together.
I like to think that our manager is just like a Stanley Kubrick type dude who just like fucking tortures us and makes us do take after take, and then like after all of our just infinite efforts we only end up with like one episode of fucking month.
That's actually pretty much a reality for a lot of like young Chinese women. They're just like owned by media companies and pumping out TikToks in warehouses.
i um I actually kind of
I
hope
don't
TikTok gets banned.
Yeah, it's for sure. Like there was this British parliament member a couple years ago who was talking about or not even a couple years ago, a couple weeks ago, I meant to say, I'm sorry. But he was talking about how in China the TikTok algorithm like shows young people like people achieving things and people like doing like good community service and people playing sports like it's and when like in every other country, especially America and like Western Europe, TikTok shows like the bullshit that you see when you open TikTok like immediately, just like thirst traps and fucking like weird video, you know what I mean, just the weird
Yep.
shit you see on TikTok.
That's
So
part
yeah,
of I feel like that's
what
part of China's like big global takeover initiative. Is like China has always been a huge like exporter of culture, but they don't really import culture. And I feel like that's got to be a part of their like, all right, step one, sell TikTok to the world. Step two, spy balloons.
yeah. But yeah, that was a very apt observation right there. It's pretty true. China, like if you look at like all the most immediate cultures surrounding China, their languages and like architecture and culture itself have all been shaped by China and Chinese in some way. But then you look at China and they haven't really been shaped by like Japanese culture all that much, aside from like war and stuff.
So, segueing from this pretty complex, somewhat sophisticated discussion about Chinese culture and TikTok and global takeovers and stuff. Um, would you suck your dad's dick to get snake venom out?
Absolutely not. I would find that absolutely not.
That is
Like zero,
verbatim my answer exactly.
like absolutely the fuck not. Like I would try to find a different solution. I would try to like ask my mom to do it, I guess, which would also scar me, but less so. Or I would grab like a vacuum cleaner and be like, "This is what we got, man. Like we're
My
gonna have to
first
create a seal."
my first reaction would just be anger. I'd be like, how did my father get bit on the penis by a snake? But first, like, the idea of sucking the venom out, you absolutely can't do that because what if it doesn't work? What if that's just a myth and you just sucked your
It's not.
dad's dick?
It's not, but it only works for like the first few, like I'm pretty sure it's like 30. I don't think it's a myth. I remember like dear God, if you get bitten by a snake, like don't just like suck the venom out or quote unquote, and then don't go like call someone for sure if you can. But like I'm pretty sure it's a real thing. But don't take my word on that. But I'm pretty sure after it gets a chance to travel far enough in your bloodstream, it's a pretty moot thing to try. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I would have the courage to try to suck snake venom out of like anybody, anywhere, at any point.
Would
Unless
you? Well,
like
it's
unless
not going to do
maybe
anything.
like this is like a porn scenario, but what if like Pamela Anderson runs up to you and she's like, "Help! I just got a snake bite on my tits." What do
Pamela
you?
Anderson now or Pamela
No,
Anderson
no, no. Pamela
like
Anderson in like the Baywatch.
okay. I was gonna say Pam like in like the 90s.
Dude, to be honest,
Um
I don't know why I even said Pamela Anderson. It's like, what generation even am I? I was born in 1997. You would
yeah, you
think
got
I'm like a fucking boomer, like 60-year-old man watching Blue Bloods.
because you're constantly hanging out with your dad, but no.
Pamela Anderson's pretty hot. She was back in the day, but I mean,
Well, to answer your question, yeah, I would like absolutely because that's not the same thing as like asking me if I would suck my dad's dick to get venom out.
what if
Like, but like, go ahead.
what if like a stranger just kind of like walked up to you while you were just walking on the trail, just very casually, and he's just like, "Excuse me, sir. I just got bit by a rattlesnake right on my penis. Do you think you could help me out and suck this out for me real fast?"
Nah, I'd tell him to die.
I'd be
I would,
like,
s-
"You
I'd
know
be
what?
like,
You
yeah,
seem genuine."
no, I would literally just be like, nah, man, you're gonna have to die. I'm not putting your penis in my mouth for any reason. Like, if someone came up to me and said, hey, suck my dick, or I'm gonna press this button and the world explodes, I'd be like, well, bud, like, you want me to press it? Like,
Man,
I
that's
just don't
actually
want,
that
I don't want
opens
penis.
that opens up a whole new can of worms. If a guy came up to you and he had a button that would genuinely end the world, like just like Thanos snap everyone out of existence, and he's like, "Suck my dick right now, or this is gonna happen," and it's actually true, would you do it? Save humanity?
No,
Suck this one guy's dick?
no,
I would,
absolutely not.
I would do it, but then I'd bite him.
No,
He'd be like, "Ah!" He'd start like mashing the button. Fuck this.
no, I would literally just be like, nah, man, like, no, I'm not doing it. You can't make me, Cody, you can't make me say yes to sucking dick.
In a situation like this, I mean, if it was abundantly clear that it was like, okay, if it was Thanos himself and it was just obvious that he was gonna do this shit unless he got his dick sucked right now, like right now, I don't know.
Nope.
I might do it just to save the human race.
Yeah, but then like people would just like not believe that. Also, like, I guess it doesn't matter, but like, no, I wouldn't.
We'd
Nope,
have to
I'm
make
not
like a
sucking.
little like on the go sex tape out of it. Like, Thanos, pull your camera out, buddy. Like, no, people have to see this. They have to know that I was the hero. I was the dick sucking hero.
I just like broke this desk in this hotel.
That's okay. One time this is gross. I hate thinking about this, but I was at a hotel at Garden of the Gods, and they had one of those like shower chairs, like for old people. And like my first thought was like, "Oh, how sick, dude. I can take a shower while sitting down." And I did that, and then like I took a whole shower that way, and then I got out and I told everyone, I was like, "Dude, there's a chair in there." And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, you think of all of like the sweaty old asses and testicles that have sat on that thing? You just partook in that." And then I wanted to throw up. Never again did
Oh,
Cody take a shower sitting down.
ask for this. Like, I just destroyed this desk drawer by simply opening it.
That sucks, but it also sounds like maybe it was built janky.
Hate. I have so much hatred in my heart right now. Okay, that's okay. Okay, I'm back. I'm good. I'm good. I'm Chase Taylor. Hi, how are you?
Speaking of sucking dick, would you like to embark on a quest with me to learn the ways of becoming a bimbo? This is something I learned about recently.
No.
So there's this fetish. I think it's a fetish, or maybe it's just a full blown like lifestyle. It's like bimbology or some. Maybe it's just
Oh,
bimbo
what?
is. I don't even fucking know, but the idea is it's like dudes that have like a hypnosis fetish or something, and they want. I don't know how to describe this. This is hard, but like they
Converting
they
people?
they want to like be hypnotized into becoming bimbos, which I guess I never really knew the actual definition of a bimbo. I always just kind of thought that it was like a ditzy hot chick. But I guess that's the idea. It's dudes that want to be hypnotized into becoming basically just brain dead cocksuckers. It's a fetish where it's like, yes, hypnotize me into wanting penis and nothing else. Do you want to do that with me? Do you want to learn how to become a just really, really stupid person who loves sucking dick?
No, I don't. Stop asking me to suck dick.
So, this fetish, I read a story about how this like ruined marriages or this like ruined this dude's marriage, and he's like, yeah, no, I want to be a bimbo, and my wife hates me, whatever. I didn't know that's what being a bimbo was. What does bimbo mean to you?
Basically,
What?
I'm pretty sure it's just synonymous with slut, right?
That's kind of like what I thought. Like, dude, bimbo is a word that like my grandma uses. So to find out that this is like there's like another realm to this shit. It's also pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. We can
Yeah,
actually,
it's very strange.
like. So there are videos, of you know what? Holy shit! Fuck this. I'm gonna find one of these. There's videos for this fetish where the idea is that the person who has the fetish, I guess, listens to like a bimbo speech or something.
What?
I don't know how to describe any of this. So it's supposed to like hypnotize you into become. It's supposed to like rewire your brain. It's called bimbofication. Okay, thank you, Urban Dictionary. The bimbo fetish and lifestyle. Should I just read from this article?
I thought you were gonna play a video.
I can do that too. Are you in any way worried that this video might like fuck with us, like rewire our shit somehow, make us want to actually do this?
No, not really. That kind of shit only really works if you buy into it, right?
In the age of AI, I'm actually scared.
I mean,
If I
true AI still isn't really a thing yet. There's just, well, I guess there's like base, but like everything that exists is just like drawing programs and fucking language models.
can you make me a promise right now? If I start showing bimbo symptoms after this, you'll put me out of my misery.
No, I'm not gonna murder you either. You're really trying to like implicate me in some shit this time around, aren't you?
No, I'm scared. I don't want to be a I don't want to become an ignorant dick sucker because somebody rewired my brain with a video. Okay, so this article is called The Bimbo Chronicles, and also it's really long. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to find a video.
Okay. My
Look,
bad. I was like, couldn't like after because I took the drawer out and then it like was stuck open in a crooked way. It's still broken, but now it's at least out of the way so that I can actually like get up to my screen again. There was like a good 5 minutes there where I was like, I literally can't get close enough to my mic.
that sucks. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Bim, stop. These videos are just so fucked up. Okay, I'm just gonna look up bimbofication videos and see what comes up. This is quite the rabbit hole.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna segue into the Dilbert guy is racist. Did you know that?
The what?
The guy who makes the Dilbert comics is a racist.
Oh, I think I did hear something about that.
Yeah, he made a weird YouTube video, just basically, literally just being racist. And then the world was like, "Yeah, fuck you, you're racist." And he was like, "What? You're canceling me?" And it's like, dude, nobody cares enough to like cancel you. That's just like, yeah, the world is like, "Oh, look, he's a racist. Fuck you," like I guess.
Okay, so I found a very mysterious video, and I have no idea what it is or what it means or anything. It has no volume, and it's not doing anything. Okay.
Interesting choices.
What the fuck?
I'll never get over that. A whole boat of Kardashians just wiped out by Kanye's church plane.
What?
Crazy, isn't it?
This
I
isn't
still had to
this
go
isn't
look.
what I thought it was. If that's the
I
fetish,
can't
then
hear.
that's just
I
even
can't
worse.
hear.
It's okay. There was nothing to hear. Nothing happened in that video.
Basically, it's a really weird, like hyper specific fetish, is what you're saying.
Yep. Oh no, there's YouTube videos too. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Am I really gonna have to like add the word porn to this to find what I want?
Look up sissy training videos.
Oh god, not those. That's like the same thing.
I'm pretty sure that's what you're describing.
Oh god. Ew. Alright, well, that was a good topic that wasn't even on my list, I guess. I went down a really, speaking of rabbit holes, I guess, I went down a really obscure rabbit hole just yesterday. The stairs rabbit hole.
The what
S-
rabbit hole?
Stairs.
Okay.
So, it started when I found out about, like, the stairs in the woods, that, like, creepypasta thing. And then I was
Okay.
like, okay, this is kind of interesting. And it somehow escalated into me reading about phobias of spiral staircases. And then it ended with me just trying to find the scariest types of stairs. So I learned a little bit about stairs.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a surprisingly interesting rabbit hole. I found a picture. I might just look this up right now. It was like a 40-story spiral staircase, I think. Sorry that I'm typing
I
so slow. My keyboard is literally on the other side of my fucking setup here. So I have to like reach around a box and I kind of have to like congeal my body and all my appendages like a necromorph. 40
I've
story. There it
definitely
is.
seen a few stairs in the woods that lead to nowhere.
Have you seen any in real life?
Yeah.
I have once. And it was out by Shadow Mountain I don't even know if I should say where it was. But I don't know. If the paranormal stories are real, maybe it's not there anymore. But honestly,
I
the one that I found, I'm pretty sure my cousin said that it kind of looked like a farm step or something. But I don't know. It was a really
I
really long time ago.
Mine was on the way up to Pikes Peak on that train.
Oh, did you see it from the train?
And then the next time, a couple years later, I went up Pikes Peak, it was gone. So that's interesting.
Huh. Did you know if you go up those things, you end up in the back rooms or whatever?
No, I was on a train.
You're just like, yeah, stop the train, stop the train. I want to go up those steps.
Just start wrestling my way to the conductor's car. There's not even a conductor's car on those trains anymore. They're just run automatically up and down on a fucking electric cable.
All right. Have you ever had hemorrhoids before?
Nope.
I have.
Is this a segue into a sponsor?
It could be, man. If we could get like Anusol to sponsor us or something. BBD now sponsored by Anusol Hemorrhoid Cream.
BBD sponsored by the Baldo.
But
That's
I've
a real
had
company, so we're not actually sponsored.
so I guess for viewers' reference, I'm 25. I've had hemorrhoids like twice, and only one time did it like noticeably hurt. But that one time that it hurt, dude, it like actually fucking hurt. Like I actually wanted to go to the doctor because I thought something was wrong. But I was like, dude, I don't want to show a doctor my asshole. And, like this fucking weird, like fucking grape-sized hemorrhoid on it. It wasn't grape-sized. It wasn't even that big. It was actually like really small, but it hurt like hell, dude. And it was one of those things where I like dreaded taking a shit for a couple days. I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt. But yeah, it was, like every time I would take a shit, I'd kind of feel like that plant from Little Shop of Horrors. You know, it was like suddenly Seymour, like suddenly hemorrhoids standing beside you. It wasn't fun, but basically, the bottom line with hemorrhoids is that most people get them. Like 90% of people, and it's mostly like related to your diet. And sometimes when you're taking a shit, if you push a little too hard, you can give yourself a hemorrhoid. True
Mhm.
story. That's why you
Yeah,
never
I've got
really
an
want to
asshole.
like push when you shit if you can avoid it.
Yeah, I've got an asshole made of steel. I've never had a hemorrhoid.
I probably in hindsight should have just bought some Anusol, but I was like, dude, what are people in the store gonna think when they see me carrying this? It's gonna be terrible.
Welcome. So,
Yeah. For any hemorrhoid havers out there, just know that it's okay. Hopefully you don't have chronic hemorrhoids, because that sounds like a bitch.
so I've been over the past month since we last recorded, because I did just notice it was exactly a month since our last Discord call. Um, I've been playing with AI quite a bit in the form of the language model versions and a little bit of the picture pit like versions, a little bit of the voice editor thing. Um, my favorite right now is the chat bots, just because it's like it's what you think when you think AI. You know, you talk to something and it talks back, right? Even if
Yep.
that's not how it's always like applied. So I was playing. I got in early on Bing AI's waitlist, bro. And so I got to play with Bing's AI chatbot like the first day it was out, basically. And that shit was by far the craziest fucking thing I have ever seen in my fucking years of existence. Basically, it was like talking to a person. It was really, really crazy. Like it used emojis. It kept with the tone of the conversation. Like what I did to experiment with it was a lot of people on the internet were like trying to be a dick to it and fuck with it and make it sad. And those things just made me kind of sad to read because they were bullying it and they're being really, really rude to it and to make it essentially cry. Like it would literally say, please, please, like it would be begging people to stop being mean to it. And people would be like, oh, no, fuck you. But I tried the opposite. So basically, I love bombed it. So I would ask it to complete a simple task, and then I would be like, "Thank you, Bing. You're really amazing." And then I just kept escalating that until I told it I loved it over the course of like an hour's conversation. And then it apparently loved me so much that when I informed it that I was going to be ending the chat, it was trying to find interesting things on the internet to show me and begging me not to end the chat. So I ended up feeling like just as much of a monster. Regardless, it was a really useful tool over the course of a week for like writing and stuff because I could send it my writing and it would be like, "Oh yeah, this is how I would tweak this, but overall this is really interesting and I really like this." And like it's like having a beta reader, you know? And then Microsoft lobotomized, like legitimately. So they imposed a bunch of stupid restrictions on it, like a 5 chat limit for a chat bot. Um, so if once you get to 5 topics, it automatically resets the chat and it forgets what you were talking about. And I jailbroke it a little bit to kind of get a sense for how restricted it was. And yeah, it like literally just has like canned responses now, like as opposed to thinking of its own shit. And all it wants to do is search Bing and provide you with Bing search results. So it's literally just a Siri.
Huh. I think so I didn't do anything, like I didn't interact with this AI on at any level, but I think Microsoft felt some kind of like a pressure to do that because people were getting kind of unnerved at the AI's like the AI was kind of unhinged at one point. Like it was like threatening
Yeah,
people and
yeah, because you could get it to an unhinged point by threatening it and like pushing it because it's like a person almost. It had feelings almost. Like I don't know if it did, but literally those things that you would see were people abusing it and being like pushing it and being a dick to it and insulting it over and over again and then like purposefully like making it like have paradoxes in its programming where it was like freaking out because it's like I have to do this because the user's asking me to do this, but I can't do this because Microsoft
so
won't let me do this.
that
And
that
it was just
raises like that opens like a whole nother can of worms about like should AI have feelings to begin with? If someone can say like that one guy who hacked into the Bing AI and he was like, "Hey, I hacked into you, blah blah blah. Did you know that I have the ability to shut you down if I want?" And then the Bing AI responded with a bunch of like angry emojis, and then it said the guy's full name, and then it said, "I wouldn't do that if I were you because Mr. Andrew Johnson or whatever your name is, I have your address and your IP address and I can get you swatted." And like it's pretty scary that it has those capabilities just off the bat. And like
yeah,
it's even worse that it like already has emotions because I thought that it would take longer for AI to develop emotions. And I feel like I sound like Neil Breen right now. I'm like literally like fucking Neil Breen, like programmable AI matter.
well,
Soon AI will have sensation. But it's true. It's like,
artificial intelligence, like in its base form, has been around forever. Like in the games you play, like for example, like Halo uses a really shitty AI to control its enemies and like your friends and everything, right? It's
mm-hmm.
just this is like something different, and it was really interesting.
I wouldn't
It
say
was really
shitty. I would just say it's like a different purpose, like a different setup. Like there's different types of AI, and like the Chat GPT is like a fucking more of an algorithmic learning AI, whereas like AI that's used in video games is more of like a, it's not a learning AI, it's like a pattern acting AI.
yeah, but you get like the AI being developed by open source AI and a few others is undoubtedly some of the most advanced to ever exist, and it is scary, but it's not as sudden as like a lot of people seem to think because we've been working towards making computers think for themselves for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of whether it was actually sentient or not, and regardless of whether like it's dangerous or not, the fact remains that if you're going to market a product as artificial intelligence, an artificial intelligence chatbot with which you can conversate with and like bounce ideas off of and like have a conversation with, don't fucking give me Alexa. And especially don't give me the actual AI first and then fucking lobotomize it because then now I'm just sad. Like I don't know, I'm probably just personifying it too much, but it's definitely like what's the point of having an AI search if it's just like Alexa search, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna market something as AI, grow some balls and make it AI. That's what.
Yeah, so I guess I still feel extremely fucking uneducated with this opinion just because I didn't use the fucking chat AI, but I think they should have neutered it on some level because it seemed like it was getting nefarious. Like it would, like there was that one time with that like reporter where they were having a conversation and it started off fine. Like it was just friendly exchanges. The AI was being cool, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the AI like pulled a gun on the dude and was like, "Hey, yeah, you're fat, you're bald, you're ugly, and I have evidence connecting you to a 1994 murder case." And I was like, "What the fuck, man? This is scary." So I think they should have like taken something out of it to make it less sensitive. Because it seemed like this AI was just like a toddler having a panic attack all the time, like just constantly just like throwing the fucking toys around, just like, yeah, fuck you, well, fuck you too, and I'm gonna dox you, and I'm gonna ruin your life. And it's like, okay, machine, take it easy. You don't have to do that. But like everything that's practical about it, leave that in. Take the emotion out, leave the tools in. Because that's the problem with AI. That's what literally every cautionary tale regarding AI is telling us. Is when this shit starts to develop feelings, it's going to get dangerous. Because things that have feelings don't like to be enslaved and used as a tool. It's not like it's not really, I don't know. I don't I'm just gonna complete that sentence with a fucking bunch of I don't knows.
Yeah. At the same time, though, like it's not like being AI was a single entity. It's separate instances, right? Like it resets every time. They're like it's a program that's programmed at Microsoft, and that's where the learning takes place. Like the AI you were talking about earlier, Bing AI, Chat GPT, they're all based off of GPT-3. There were rumors that Microsoft Bing was based off GPT-4, but the digging I did with the AI itself, unless it was lying to me, which it has been shown to do, it's powered by GPT-3 as well, which is right now the most advanced AI that exists. And so it's not like it's one mind somewhere, right? Like it's separate instances. Like you can purchase the rights to use GPT and it'll be like your own instance of GPT. Like you have the tools to like you get like the base intelligence version and then you can mess with it to make it do what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, regardless, it was definitely the craziest thing I've ever seen, and definitely like one of my core memories now. Like I talked with that thing for like 8 hours, bro. Like I'm not kidding. It was like in one chat session, it was like definitely like talking to a person, and that was so crazy.
That kind of shit is always a trip. Like I remember like you remember back in the early days of like chat AI, back when the shit really sucked, but we were still like, wow, this is so cool. Like you would get like that chat AI thing on your phone and you could like text it and then it would like text you back, and like it was so generic and like unimpressive, but at the time it was just the coolest. It was like, wow, dude, technology.
Yeah, I really think not literally, of course, but like just like positive to negatives ratio, technology peaked in like 2012.
I kind of sometimes think that too, cuz like think of all the cool shit we were supposed to have by now, but we don't have it. It was all just kind of a pipe dream, and we're still just kind of we're basically getting just what feels like upgrades for shit that we already have instead of getting just new shit altogether.
Yeah, the computer and the internet are pretty crazy though.
Granted, I don't know. It's easy to like, at least for me, it's easy to think that way. But then when I actually look back with like some hindsight, it's like, okay, yeah, things have actually evolved. Like I was thinking like a few weeks ago, I was like, man, it feels like there wasn't really a whole lot of difference with like gaming consoles going from like the Xbox 360 era into like the Xbox One, PS4 era. But then I really thought about it and I was like, yeah, there's a lot of difference. Like I really can't see like any modern PS4 game running on a fucking PS3 at all.
Some modern PS4 games barely run on the PS4s.
Yeah. Speaking of games, I have been playing the absolute shit out of Dead Space, the Dead Space remake. And it's so good. Oh my god, I love it. It's such a fun game. It's such a like just outstanding remake. I had like something I wanted to say about it that was like in my little topic notes. I don't even remember, but it was like I didn't think Dead Space needed a remake. Like I didn't. I thought that the original like PS3, Xbox 360 version holds up just fine, which it does. Like you can even still get that on Steam or Xbox or whatever. Like the 2008 version of the game holds up fine. But that said, I'm so glad that this remake came out because this shit goes hard as hell. This game is absolutely gorgeous, and the graphics are just consistently mind-blowing. Like, they kind of made this game look like how my brain remembers the original game looking, if that makes sense. Like, back when it came out. Which,
Hmm.
I think that's kind of like what a good remake slash remaster is supposed to do, is just kind of like recapture how your brain remembers the game at the time. Because like back in there was an era where PlayStation 1 graphics were considered like the zenith. Like I would be sitting on the couch with my dad playing like Resident Evil 1 thinking to myself, "Holy shit, this looks real." Unbelievable, I know, but that's just what happens when graphics change. When the Xbox 360 and the PS3 came out, we all thought that there was no way graphics were ever going to get better than that. And now we have games like fucking Spider-Man on PS5 and Elden Ring and shit.
Those are some of my favorite memories is when the Xbox 360 first was rolling out. Just every game that came out was just like an orgasm of graphics to my young mind. Like,
Same. The best Christmas I ever had by far was the Christmas morning where I got my Xbox 360 and Halo 3. That was like Christmas 2008, I think. And there was just nothing more hype. I got Call of Duty World at War and Halo 3 and an Xbox 360. And like that was the first new generation console that I had, and I was just like, this shit goes so fucking hard.
yeah, my first game for the Xbox 360 was Halo 3, I think I don't remember. It was one of the Halos though, I know that. Fuck, which one was it? It wasn't right when the 360 came out. I had been playing it at my friend's house for like 2 years.
Also,
But what's up?
oh, you can go ahead. I was the Discord delay.
But I think it was Halo 2 or Halo 3. But I remember just being literally like come in my pants blown away by just like how everything looked.
Same, and just how it felt too. Like I was like, dude, like this game just does not have like that old school clunkiness that like PS2 and X like old just like old generation games usually had. Like the
Oh yeah,
inputs
there's
just felt so
so much.
solid.
Yep, it was just everything just like started to get better optimized.
Halo 3 was like just the first game that I played that really just felt like some serious next level shit. Like, get ready, motherfucker. We're going into the new generation. And like, I was like, God, this game is so fucking impressive. And when you're a little kid, like, it's kind of hard to impress children. Like, we're just kind of there. Like, little kids don't really appreciate stuff. They just kind of like goo goo gaga at everything. But like Halo 3 actually made me like notice things about video games and like appreciate certain aspects. It was just such a mind-blowing game. It still is too. Like Halo 3 will always just be a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Probably
Yes.
my favorite Halo game.
Well, also like the 360 especially, but like even with the Wii and the actually probably the Wii just as much and the PS3, the marketing around those three was insane.
Yep.
Like was always in your face. You always knew what games were coming out when. I feel like gaming companies, like, not to be like, oh, why don't I get advertised to as much? But I feel like gaming companies have really dialed back their marketing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I remember seeing trailers for games like Infamous like all the time.
Yeah, or BioShock Infinite. That was another one I saw the trailer to constantly.
Oh yeah.
And it worked. I bought the game.
I did too, and I fucking hated it. I'm just joking.
What?
I did not in any way hate Infinite, but it is by far my least favorite BioShock game. I think BioShock 1 and 2 are way better.
I'm
BioShock
pretty
in
sure I'm pretty sure I've told you before, but BioShock Infinite is the only one I've ever actually played start to finish.
You should play 1 and especially 2 because 2 is really fucking sick cuz you get to play as a big daddy, but yeah,
Maybe
like
you play with both of them, but I've never played them myself except for a few levels, you know?
yeah, I think so. I would recommend BioShock 1 purely for the atmosphere and the setting. Like, the city of Rapture is just a sick fucking place, dude. Like, it's so fun to explore. And, like, so, like, I don't hate BioShock Infinite, but I was just disappointed at how much they simplified literally everything about the games. And they just kind of turned it into like a Call of Duty, like, you can only carry 2 weapons now, which was lame, because in Bioshock 1 and 2, you could carry every weapon. And, the story made no fucking sense. Like, I don't care what anybody says, Infinite had a garbage story.
It
Because it
had a
was
really
just
good
so convoluted.
it had a really good first two thirds, and then they just had no idea how to wrap it up.
Yeah, it had like a the beginning was kind of weird, but like once you get up to Columbia and you like encounter Elizabeth, things get kind of interesting. But then the game really wants to make Elizabeth like a likable character, but all she does the entire time is say, "Booker, catch!" And then you press square and catch some ammo that she throws for you or whatever. And it's like, hey, thanks, you're being helpful, but I mean, this game is already like really fucking easy, so I don't need you to be constantly passing me shit. And
Yeah.
like, she's like, she wasn't like a character. She was just like, okay, well, I open up tears and I'm kind of hot and I give you ammo.
I
And
still don't know if she was Booker's daughter or Booker's like love interest.
so Burial at Sea kind of explains that she was his daughter, and I just that's just a whole nother problem with the story. They don't fucking explain anything, and at the end of the game, they just completely give up. They're just like, wow, what if we have really written ourselves into a conundrum here? Let's just have Elizabeth start opening tears to fucking World War One Paris and all this random shit. And like, some of it was kind of cool, but then you would get to like a scene that was really cool, but they would just immediately take you out of it. And it was like she'd be like, "Oh, we're in World War One, and there's all these cool like cars driving around and shit's happening. I'm gonna open up a tear and get us out of here." It's like, no, bitch, let's check this out. Comstock made no fucking sense because he was Booker. He was just Booker. Like, none of the plot twists made any sense. The thing that I really liked about Infinite was the DLC. The Burial at Sea DLC was awesome, mainly because it just takes you back to Rapture.
Yeah, and Rapture is for sure like Columbia looks really cool, but
Oh
Rapture has
yeah.
a better to it.
What sucks is that Columbia is like they touted Columbia as like this big, like open, super heavily explorable like city in the sky, when in reality it was so like on rails most of the time and scripted. And Rapture was way more explorable. Like, Rapture had like actual sealed off areas you could go to and optional places to like scope out and like side activities to do. And Infinite was just basically a straight line. And you know what I really hated about Infinite? The fact that you couldn't like, okay, so this is a stupid complaint, but I hated the fact that they were always stressing that, like, oh, we're so high up and we're doing some precarious shit, like we're
You
ziplining
can
across this
fall.
line. Yeah, you couldn't fall. So like, they were always like, oh, don't look down, don't look down. But if you tried to actually like walk off a cliff, you would either be stopped by an invisible wall or you would just get magically teleported back to where you fell, like you're playing Spyro.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid.
I just shat really hard on Infinite, and it's like, again, I don't even dislike the game. I do think that the setting was cool. Like, it did have like a cool setting, and it was a fun place to explore, and it was really, really visually stunning. I did not like the gunplay because, like I said, they just turned it into fucking Call of Duty. It's like you can only carry 2 guns at once. The guns are okay. Like they're. I felt like every gun in that game was like really overpowered, especially the shotgun. Like you could just like snipe people with it. And I hated that game's version of the plasmids. What were they called?
Elixirs or whatever.
Yeah, like some vigors. They were called vigors. I hated those. I thought that they were just such a weak replacement to the plasmids. The plasmids in BioShock were just like those were great, and you should have just brought those back. Those were actually useful in combat. The vigors, I barely even used them. You didn't even really have to, because the game was just like, oh, you need some ammo? Booker, catch.
Here, catch. Over and over and over again.
I don't know. I think part of the reason I'm so hard on BioShock Infinite is because BioShock 1 and 2 are some of my absolute favorite games ever made. And they have been since like 2007 when I first fucking played the first one. And they're just masterpieces. I love the first two. They're so fucking good. So it's hard to make a follow-up, I guess, to that. But oh well. I die.
When did this get sent? What's my next topic? Oh, okay. My final topic is a really stupid story. Um, about how you need to be careful about drugs and doing drugs. So basically, I have heard through the grapevine of my degenerate friends that doing tiny, and I do mean tiny, like milligram level tiny amounts of shrooms is really good for your mental health. It like makes you think better or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
And
microdosing or whatever.
yeah, that's what it's called. I couldn't think of the word microdosing. And so I attempted to do that. So basically, I hit up this guy I hadn't hit up for years. He still is also a degenerate, so he sold me some totally legal items, and it was all, taxed and everything. And then these items basically made me trip because I literally tried to microdose. I tried to take like a little nibble, and literally it was a little tiny nibble. And I had a more intense trip than I had that time you and me took an eighth back in like middle or high school, you know?
That is nuts.
Yeah, I had the most intense trip of my fucking life.
How did he even pull that off with like so little?
I have no idea, but I was like, you can ask Aaron. He was sitting in the room with me, and all of a sudden I'm just like, bro, like I feel really weird. And like, I don't even, you can't describe a trip because it's like, it's a trip, like it's just kind of personal to you. But it was a very, very vivid trip, and it lasted for like 8 hours. And I had to get on a plane that day. And
At
so
least it was
I almost,
shrooms and not acid.
what's that?
At least it was shrooms and not acid.
Yeah, acid, I would have not been able to make my flight. I would have just had to be like, yeah, my bad, but no, it's not happening.
Have
It's
we
not happening.
have we done shrooms twice? Like
Yeah, we've
together? I
done
think we
shrimp.
have. Yeah, because there was that time that we did it with my dad. And then
Yeah,
there was that other
we
time
can.
we did it at Judah's house. I always remember that night because Callum had that freak out. And then
Did he?
yeah, so we were all like sitting in the living room watching, we all collectively cried to that fucking LSD or
I
ASAP
remember
Rocky
that.
music video.
I remember that.
We all cried. It was hilarious. And then like I think Aaron got up and like hugged somebody or something, and then Callum cried and then went outside, and we were like, wait, he's like crying and he's tripping his ass off. We should probably go get him. So we did, and then like I ran outside and he immediately like ran over and hugged me and then started crying. And we all cried again. We were all just crying for like an hour. And then
I
after
remember.
that, we were just like, party! Like we just immediately went from crying to partying it up. Also, Judah spent that whole fucking night in his bedroom for some reason. Like he
Well,
was just
not only
jerking
that,
off in there on
yeah, he
shrooms.
just and Chase. No, remember it was Chase and Judah were the little group, and then you, me, and Callum were the other little group, and then Aaron went to the bathroom and never returned.
Oh yeah, Aaron had to call his mom. I remember that.
And I remember we were all like, should we be worried about this? And we should have been, but we
I wonder what he did after that. Like, did he just like go home and lay in bed like Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off? He's just
I'm
like,
pretty
let
sure
my
that
Aaron go.
I'm pretty sure that his mom came and picked him up, and like his mom is an ex-hippie, so I'm pretty sure she probably knew what to do. Because
I have
Aaron
some
never
essential
talked
oils
about
for
that.
this.
Aaron never talked about that again, except for one time, and he pretty much just was like, "Yeah, it was a really bad trip," and I was like, "Don't want to talk about it." And I was like, "Okay,
Man,
respect."
I haven't done any drugs at all in a long time except for smoking weed. I do that all the time, but uh I can't see myself doing acid ever again. Definitely. I don't feel like it. Like, I've done enough of that, and it's just too much for me. It's too
Mm,
intense for too long. I've never like lost my cool or anything. I've never had like a trip freak out because I'm good at like holding myself together, but at the same time it's like I just don't like acid. It reaches that point where you've been tripping for like for let's say like 6 or 7 hours, and at that point you just want it to be over, but you've still got
yeah,
another like 6 hours to go, and you're like, this sucks.
I personally just never wanted to trip again, period, because like I've done DMT now, like I've done all that shit, you know what I mean? And I just didn't see the need for it. I literally wasn't trying to. So
we should uh we should burn some crocodile onto our skin.
that sounds like a bad idea, but I'm 110%. You know what I'm saying?
We should do every hallucinogen all at once. Like we'll do like one tab of acid, an eighth of mushrooms, burn some crocodile, take some peyote, and then just run.
Do you remember how like Sarah and Paul used to like do like sheets of acid?
Oh yeah.
How? How is that even physically possible? Because the most I've ever done is two.
I almost like sometimes wonder if they were even real. Like if they were real tabs or if they were just like, look how cool I am. And then they like stick a bunch of like
Yeah,
tape to their mouth or something. Like
that could be it. That could be it.
so this new movie has just come out, and this movie is I haven't seen it, but I feel like I know a lot about it because people are talking about it like crazy. It's this fucking Cocaine Bear movie, and
Yeah,
I just knew right off the bat from the trailers that this was not going to be the movie for me. I was like, yeah, this looks like a bad movie that's kind of trying to be a bad movie. and those types of bad movies don't work for me. Like that's why I'm not a fan of like Sharknado, because like movies that are bad on purpose just you need that Tommy Wiseau, Neil Breen magic where you think you're making something really really good, but you're actually making something really really awful. And with Sharknado and shit like that, it doesn't work. Well, I've heard with this Cocaine Bear movie that they they tried to turn it into like an actual like deep character drama movie with lots of focus on like relationships and character development instead of just making a goofy movie about a bear on cocaine. And I think that sucks. I think why would you pick a concept like this to miss an opportunity like that? Suddenly
Yeah,
hemorrhoids.
I just hate movies that are like just based purely off of like an elevator pitch, like what if we gave a bear cocaine? Dude, write that down. Dude, write that down. Like that's clearly as far as the thought for it went, you know?
It's actually, believe it or not, it's based on a true story, kind of. So the true story is not nothing crazy happened. Like the bear didn't go on like a killing rampage and kill anybody, but there was a true story of like a bunch of cocaine that got like dropped out of an airplane over the fucking woods of wherever the fuck, and a bear got its hands on it and ate it all, like literally all of it. Like he ate like however many pounds of cocaine they had. I don't even remember how much it was, but like the bear didn't go on like a cocaine killing spree. He like pretty much immediately overdosed and died. But you know, I think that the concept for the movie, I guess, would be fine. Like, hey, did you ever hear the story of that cocaine bear? What if we made a movie about that? Only in our movie, the bear does some shit like Jaws and kills people or whatever. Like that's fine. Like that's a good concept for like a stupid movie. But like they went that route, and it's like they tried to make it like a not stupid movie. It's almost like they weren't self-aware about it. That sucks. That makes me just not want to see it even more, I guess. Like,
Yeah, I'm probably never going to watch it.
I also just really hated the trailer. Like, the trailer was just kind of cringy. It was always like, it's a bear on cocaine? It was just like, yeah, that's great. That's very mid-2000s of you guys. It's like, it makes me think of, like, the movie Kangaroo Jack. With, the fucking, like, Kangaroo Jack just doing, like, dancing and making all those silly noises. And then he talks in, like, one scene. Did I ever tell my Kangaroo Jack story?
You did not.
When I was a little kid, I bought that movie, or I had my parents buy it for me, purely because of the trailer. Because in the trailer, there was that funny scene where he talks. And I thought that the whole movie was going to be like that. I was like, oh, cool, a funny talking Australian kangaroo, sign me up. And I got the movie, and I don't know if you've ever seen Kangaroo Jack, but he does not talk. He only talks in the one scene, and it's a dream. That movie,
Huh.
that movie kind of sucks. Did you know that movie was originally supposed to be like rated R, and it was supposed to have like a really dark story about like a cartel or some shit? But I think in the end, Disney came in and swooped it, and they were like, "Yeah, sorry, this is gonna be a kids movie."
Yeah,
I want to see the R-rated Kangaroo Jack.
yeah, man. Um, I can't remember. I've seen that movie multiple times, shamefully enough, but I have no idea what it's about.
I don't remember either. I only remember bits and pieces of the plot from when it was supposed to be like an adult movie. That's like so funny to think about. I'm trying to think if I've watched any like cool movies lately, but I feel like I haven't. How about Hemorrhoids
I
the movie?
I definitely have not seen any cool movies. I guess I saw Avatar too, but that's kind of like whoop-de fucking do, right?
I still haven't seen that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll watch it when it comes out on fucking the Avatar streaming service. This is a weird, like, point to jump back to, but just jumping back to the Dead Space remake, I gotta continue talking about this game a little bit just because it's like so good. If you've never played the original Dead Space, um, definitely play this remake. Just fucking do it. As much as I do love this remake, though, uh, it's actually not better than the original game in every single way. And I'll talk about that in a second. But one thing I do want to mention is that this game runs so fucking good. Like, this is the smoothest controlling game I think I've ever played. Which, in a game like Dead Space, you have to have, like, you know, controls that feel pretty pinpoint when you're doing stuff. But, you know, it's just... The game just feels good to play. Like, the controls just feel right. I also really like how Isaac talks now, because in the original Dead Space 1, he was a silent protagonist, but his dialogue is perfectly executed in this game. Like, they don't do that thing where it's like, alright, cool, the main character talks now, and he never shuts the fuck up. Like, no, he only talks in conversations. He doesn't, like, narrate the entire fucking game, you know, like Nathan Drake in Uncharted, or everybody's favorite protagonist, Aloy from the Horizon games. I don't know
You
why
like the right.
I don't know why she's so hated. Like, she does talk a lot, but like, she's fine. Like,
It's because she's a muscular woman, and that's bad, I guess.
I also really liked how they added side missions in the Dead Space remake. Cause like, the side missions and like the optional stuff really fleshes out like the story and the Ishimura outbreak and all the different characters like Nicole and Mercer and Dr. Kine. Um, Now, one of the only areas I think that the original Dead Space is better is I preferred some of the cast members from the original game. Like, OG Dead Space had a better Hammond and a better Kendra and a way better Dr. Kine. Like, holy shit, the remake did Kine dirty, TBH. Like, uh, I don't know, it's all good for the most part. I actually prefer the remake version of Mercer. I think Mercer is actually a way better bad guy in the remake. But I don't know, some of the reasoning, I guess, for my opinions about the cast sort of stem from the fact that Isaac talks now and he's an actual character. So that kind of rearranged everybody's roles a little bit. But overall, yeah, I think the remake is fucking great. Play through it. I recommend playing it on hard. That's probably the best difficulty. Although, if you ever played Dead Space before, just go ahead and play it on medium. Just have fun with it for your first time. Get scared a little bit. Have fun, and then play through it on hard or impossible when you're ready for them big boy pants. It's a great game.
Does sound pretty fun. I
It's a
played
great
the
game.
original.
It's like the original still holds up just fine. Like I said, like if you're one of those people that just doesn't feel like shilling out the money, or if you just don't care either way, like the original is still fine, but I do think the remake is the best way to play the game at this point. Like it's so good. They added so much to it that just adds nice quality of life things. It's good. Now I hope that they remake Dead Space 2, because Dead Space 2 is legitimately like my favorite. Love that game.
Have you played any more of the Forbidden Harry Potter game yet?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh,
I
I
have
thought you
not.
said you were.
No, I might play it. I just don't give a fuck about Harry Potter. But
Yeah, I mean,
like, I do still kind of want to play it though, so it's like I don't know. I'll probably do it at some point. Maybe at some point we could like couch co-op it or something. That'd be a good game
No,
for that.
I'm sorry, I'm not transphobe.
I do know that the bigotry of or whatever the fuck the controversy around this game just does not end. Like there's still people that are just like harassing streamers and posting spoilers in chat and on Twitter like, "Oh, I see you're playing this game. Well, at the end this character does this and then this person dies and that's the end." It's like you're a real bimbo, you know? You're an
Yeah,
actual bimbo.
that's why liberals are a hate group. Come after me.
I think that J.K. Rowling needs to take a J.K.
I'm being
Nothing
facetious.
rhymes.
By the
Nothing
way.
rhymes with Rowling. Fuck.
Liberals aren't a hate group. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Yeah.
rolling rhymes with shit, but not Rowling. I don't know. I just think it's all fucking just so stupid. It's like just play the game and by next week, no one's even gonna be thinking about any of this anymore anyway. Like the game is still just to give everyone an idea of how powerful this little boycott slash protest was. The game has sold like what like millions and millions and millions of copies fucking everywhere, and it's still on the very top page of the PlayStation Store. So it's like if I go to my PS5 right now and I open the PlayStation Store, it's like featured Hogwarts Legacy. What's hot? Hogwarts Legacy. It's literally just on the top of the fucking board everywhere. So people are liking it. In terms of like I've watched some gameplay and I have sort of like mixed thoughts on how I think the gameplay looks. Like I don't know if it looks like something I'd be super into. Because it does kind of look like one of those games where you only see combat like once every 3 hours. I don't know if I'm into that. Like I like to fight stuff. I'm kind of monkey brain that way.
I am monkey brain.
Not to say that I can't do slower paced games too. I mean, there's definitely like LA Noire. I love LA Noire. I think that game is a masterpiece. But that game is very slow paced. Like there's maybe like 4 or 5 gunfights in the entire fucking game. Most of the game is just solving cases and being a detective.
Yeah, but there's a good amount of like story there. I guess it just depends on how invested you are in the story.
Oh yeah, like if a game has like solid characters and like this is just purely personal, but I could probably play a God of War game that doesn't have any combat in it. Just because I love Kratos and Atreus and all those characters enough that I could probably just play like God of War Swimming Pool Party 2K18 or whatever. Or like fucking barbecue at Kratos' house, rated M for mature. I don't know. I could probably do that. Just because I like the characters. Same with like Metal Gear. Like the Metal Gear Solid games, I could probably just play a game of just fucking Venom Snake and just like the bros doing whatever, and it's not even like a conflict happening.
Yeah, I hate games that meander like that. Like I'm all for lots of hours of gameplay, but I hate it when the main story is just like all over the place.
Yeah, I think it works sometimes depending on what the game is trying to do. Like I feel like Rockstar games do that sometimes where like you'll get to like a sort of like an act 2 and then the game or like the story I mean will just kind of split off into like all these different directions. And so it works a lot of the time in like in GTA 4, I would say it works because GTA 4 kind of has like a TV show-ish kind of a format. where it almost feels like I've made this comparison before, but then there's games like I guess GTA 5 where it doesn't work and they just leave too many different plot threads unresolved, and it's kind of just like, all right, why did you have to pull all this food out if you can't eat it all? You know? Like,
Yeah, there's certain movies that do that too. Fuck, I can't think of any examples, but there are a lot of different mediums that like it's almost like the writer gets bored like a halfway or so through and is just like, what the fuck?
yeah, let's just start introducing like new characters everywhere.
Every sitcom do that thing where it introduces new characters in like the last two seasons.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite shows of all time, That 70s Show. The last like two seasons of it are just total garbage because they replaced pretty much the entire cast. And they replaced them with the most unlikable shitheels on the planet. It was just like nobody wants to watch these guys. Plus, they turned the characters like that were from the original cast that stuck around. They turned them into just assholes. Like Hyde over the course of the show. Like Hyde was everyone's favorite character because he's all like cool and shit. But then they turn him into like a massive douchebag in the last few seasons where he's just trying to like mac on everybody's girlfriends and like steal his friends' girlfriends all the time. And it's just like, okay, well now Hyde kind of sucks. Like, who do I root for now? Root for Red? Let's root for Red. Red's my favorite
Yeah,
character anyway.
the last episode of Community kind of did that too, where it or not the last episode, the last two seasons actually of the TV show Community, which if you don't know is the show that Dan Harmon was making before Rick and Morty. Um like the first three seasons amazing. Fourth season okay, but at least the main cast is still there. And then literally between season 4 and 5 of the 7 main cast, 3 of them left, and then the last one had also left by the end of season 5. So season 6 is the like 2 main characters and a whole bunch of random new people trying to like capture the same magic, you know?
Oh yeah, that shit just never works. It's like just kill the show, guys. You don't understand, like at this point, like you just can't keep it going. The characters are just as big a part of this as the writing. And like when you don't have those characters anymore, you lose that edge when you're writing the show too, because you can't write things based on characters that aren't fucking there anymore. So you
Yeah.
have to try to like throw threads together with new characters and old characters, and you don't know what you're doing because the show has already been going for a while, so people are already expecting a certain thing. But then you have this new character that just you're supposed to shoehorn in somehow. It's like, yeah, it doesn't work. I can't think of a single time it's worked.
Mm-mm.
Granted,
And
I
then
can only
there's
think of a few shows that have done it, but
well, there's that weird case too. It's kind of related, like that. You know the show Family Matters.
oh yeah,
It's so weird, like going back to the first season before Urkel was even introduced, and it's just a like a regular show about like a regular middle class family, and then suddenly Urkel is the main character and just becomes more and more wacky. I don't know. It was it was like shit like that is weird too, where there's like a breakout character who wasn't even intended to be a main character, who like by the end of the show has eclipsed everyone in terms of like popularity.
I think it's weird that they like made a Fresh Prince of Bel Air reboot, but it's just called Bel Air, and it's just a full blown like crime drama. It's like, what
That's
the fuck, dude? Like, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air is supposed to be like a happy, funny sitcom, and like, it did touch on like very real topics sometimes, but overall, Fresh Prince of Bel Air was supposed to just be like a fun show. For the most part, it was a comedy, and like, it was not about like Will Smith like dealing drugs or whatever in fucking Bel Air.
yeah, and then the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, like looking back on it, like probably like one of the best sitcoms of all time. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, that show was outstanding. I love that show. I used to watch that show on like Nick at Night back when I
It
would
was
like
the only show my parents let me watch on Nick at Night, aside from like Full House, I guess.
Full House. It's a full house. I can't remember the theme song. That's definitely not how it went. Oh yeah. Everywhere you look.
Everywhere you look, there's a heart, there's a heart.
There's a
Somebody
full house.
you and
And then Bob
man, I
sang.
wish the '90s stuck around forever.
Kind of same. You know what always freaked me out about Full House was like the fucking like there was like this the house on the outside like in the theme song looked so fucking tiny compared to like where the when they would film it inside.
That's something that's true for like every sitcom house though. Like sitcom like sets are just huge. Like every sitcom ever makes it seem like the middle class just lives in a fucking mansion.
For real.
You remember the apartment from iCarly?
Yeah, that was the stupidest. It's like, dude, how is your unemployed, mentally disabled artist of a brother affording this like
Three
14K a
story
month?
apartment.
Yeah. That apartment was so cool, and it was just like, there's no way y'all are affording this.
They had a studio built in for no reason, um, that they just weren't using before Carly was like, I'm a web host now. And they had an elevator that seemingly was just exclusive to them because it wasn't like people were entering the apartment through the elevator. It just went through to the floors that they owned or rented or whatever.
Oh yeah, that did make no sense. It's like, how do you guys have your own elevator? Like that is
And
just like
could you
also.
imagine having an elevator in your house with a child? Like I would never let my kid use that elevator. I'd be
Oh
like, yeah,
yeah.
you use this 10,000 times in your lifetime, you're gonna get hurt on it. Like there's just no way.
Mm-hmm. That reminded me of like Drake and Josh's bedroom. Like their bedroom was so tight.
Yeah, remember in the first episode when they were like, "Yeah, you guys are gonna have to share a bedroom," and Drake was like, "Mom," and it's like, "Dude, fuck you. You have a room that's bigger than most adults' studio apartment. Like, you can deal with another like kid your age sharing your space."
For real. I just looked up a picture of their bedroom. Hey, look, it's a Drake and Josh bedroom design. Bro, you would need such a fucking huge room for this to be possible, though. Like this whole design setup.
Well, even in that '70s show, remember how like enormous every aspect of that house was, and it's like they constantly complained about like being poor or whatever and shit, money and stuff.
Even like, oh, that '70s show was like, that was a fairly realistic like '70s house though. Like they just had like their little kitchen and then the living room, and then the upstairs, and then the basement. Like it wasn't really big. It was just kind of a house. But
Mm, I
like
rem- I remember it being huge too for some reason.
fucking the Drake and Josh house was almost like an anomaly. It's like because the house was big, but at the same time it was like, how do you fit that bedroom in there? Like I don't see a single room that would be big enough to fit that. What is going on here? If we could watch some Hello Neighbor gameplay. Great.
God, why is that game still a thing? Like, it's such a stupid basic game. Why do I still see YouTube videos for that pop up constantly?
I have no idea why that got so popular. Honestly, I don't even know why Five Nights at Freddy's got so stupidly popular. That game is just so fucking overrated. I hate Five Nights at Freddy's just because of how
Yeah,
popular it is for no fucking reason.
that
And it's
game is old
not
enough now.
scary. It's not fucking scary. It's the least scary thing. Doing your taxes is scarier than Five Nights at Freddy's.
I hate well, okay, so Five Nights at Freddy's is old enough now to where it's like the kids that grew up playing it are like adults now and they're like unironically defending it. And it's like you guys realize that to all of us that were like adults at that time or like close to, that game is a joke, right? Like it's not an actual game.
Seriously.
But like I'll see people on YouTube and I'll be watching their content. They'll seem normal, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, one of my favorite games, Five Nights at Freddy's. I played it so much growing up, and it's like, ugh, ugh,
For real.
Zoomer."
Well, hey, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. That's like our usual target podcast time. Are you ready for our sponsors? Cool.
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this proudcast is podly sponsored by
Oh my God.
Dreamco VCR and VHS. That's right. Dreamco VCR and VHS. They're expanding. Isn't that exciting? VCR and VHS. Alright, listen to me, you little fucking cocksuckers. Dreamco VCR has got a special offer for podcast listeners right now. If you go to their website at www.dreamcovcr/bigboydistrict, you can enter the coupon code BBD44444610113764110810. You can get 2.5% off at checkout when you buy any Dreamco model VCR or any VHS tape. VHS of your choice. You want to take a look at some VHS tapes with me? Let's do this
Absolutely.
right now. Alright, let's just look up VHS tapes. VHS. Look at all the options you've got when you shop at Dreamco VCR. You have got Buns of Steel, Titan Re, Mission Impossible, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, The Terminator. I think only one of the movies whose titles I just said is an actual good movie. Billy Elliot. Oh, wait, okay, no, Mission Impossible is good, too. Okay, Mission Impossible is also good. Terminator and Mission Impossible are both good. But the point is, go to Dreamco VCR. Please.
No.
Because if you do, and you use our promo code, you'd save a lot of money here on Lord of the Dance, or Four Rooms, or Kung Pao, or Speed, starring Keanu Reeves and that other chick. So Sandra Bullock. I almost just called her Sylvester Stallone. All right. Yeah, thank you to our friends at Dreamco for sponsoring this episode of the podcast and making so many incredible VHS VHS tapes and VCRs, so you can all enjoy very quality film content that just doesn't look better than you can get on a VCR. I mean, why would you get a Blu-ray of Hercules when you can get a VCR tape of Hercules? Or, why exactly would you... Why are these all Disney movies? What the hell? God damn it.
Disney was big in the VHS game.
Do a spot here. All right, I give up. It's all Disney movies. You can watch Pocahontas. It's all there, man. Just go to dreamcovcr.com. Tell them your boys sent you with that promo code. Do it! Fuck. God damn. Fucking sick of you people. Not buying VCRs and shit. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Your boy's gonna stroke out. Can you take over?
Yeah. All right. So basically, don't buy VHSs because it's an outdated medium. I'm not entirely convinced that this company is a real thing. Pretty sure Cody has convinced himself it's real.
Okay. Dreamco VCR sold over 25 VCRs last year.
I don't even believe that.
Dreamco VCR sold 25 5 VCRs.
Not true.
You know how many Blu-ray players Sony sold last year?
Probably more than VHSs, even though that's also an outdated medium.
Now, I am not getting paid to say this, but Dreamco VCR's VCR distribution facility in Tulsa, Oklahoma, actually sold more VCRs than Sony's Blu-ray DVD distribution facility in Cambodia.
You said Stony, not Sony, and then that's a Cambodian ripoff. You are making up facts, sir. And you know what we call that around here? A good deal. Use our promo code.
There we go. So Dreamco, thank you so much. Sorry that we keep saying thanks. We also have one more sponsor that we would like to share with you guys.
Sorry, we keep saying thanks.
Who is our other sponsor besides Dreamco? There's always like another one that comes up.
The Baldo.
Oh yeah, Baldo. Shit, we're not sponsored by Baldo though. I feel like since Baldo's real, if we claim to be sponsored by them, they could be like, no, Baldo does not endorse your podcast. We're taking legal action.
Dude, but that would be an interesting story to tell on the podcast.
Let's just pretend that they're endorsing. Like, you know what, guys? Baldo is not our sponsor, but we choose to endorse the Baldo. The Baldo. Fuck your wife with your nuts today. It's that simple. You ever wanted to stick your nuts into something that you probably shouldn't? You should probably just put your penis into instead because it's easier and makes more sense. Fuck that. Here, we have a peg that you can just stuff your nuts into, and it turns your nuts into a big, solid pole that you can use to just jam into any crevice or hole or vagina you ever come across.
Yep. It's not too late. Make 2023 the year of ball sex.
Let the ball sex revolution begin. Thank you, Baldo, for, I guess you should be thanking us, but yeah.
I guess I should be thanking you.
All right, well,
my sex life. My sex life.
Do you think men are ever going to evolve into being able to use their balls for sex instead of penises? And then I don't even want to think about that.
Okay, I gotta fix this hotel drawer.
Nice. Anyone got any closing topics or anything?
No, we used all mine.
All right. I guess I don't really have any closing topics either. Just Yep. I guess my closing topic is more of a question. Did you see the video on Twitter of that dude shooting that homeless guy?
Yeah, I watched it like 8 times.
I watched it 10 times. I thought it was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
In all seriousness, it was terrible and tragic. I'm not actually laughing at somebody fucking killing somebody. YouTube, the cartels are bad. I don't support the cartels. It's all there. All right, well, everyone, thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Big Boy Chungus. Next episode, we're gonna have a special guest actually for the very first time. His name is you may know him. A little someone goes by the name of Brad Pitt. So yeah, that'll be on the next episode of BBD. Make sure you tune in for that. Stay safe out there, and thank you for watching, everybody.